Tobacco consumption, as we already know, is a major and a serious public health issue across the globe. And as per our recent data, across 7.2 million deaths per year have been recorded. And recently, the WHO European region has reported the greatest tobacco consumption, including adults, women, and other populations. So, since today is a special day that we are celebrating, which is the World No Tobacco Day, that is set for 31st May. And for this year, for this specific year 2025, the WHO and public health advocates are hoping to raise awareness about the tobacco industry's practices that are actually damaging. So, this is actually a long year campaign that aims to protect our future generations, basically our younger population, our future generations from the interferences of tobacco industries, their deceptive marketing strategies. How can we combat those marketing strategies and also boost secession support for this target population? So, to talk more on this topic today, we have an expert with us, Dr. Apurva Medhe, who is an oral pathologist. He is a dental surgeon. He has done masters in dental surgery, and he brings a unique blend of clinical expertise and public health expertise to drive impactful change in this industry. So, first of all, Dr. Apurva, thank you for accepting our invitation for this conversation, for this interview. And starting with a basic question, like how does tobacco can affect public health? If we see different nations, if we see developing nations, if we see developed nations, so all across the globe, how tobacco use, tobacco consumption can affect public health?
First of all, I would like to thank you, Dr. Anahita and the James Lind Institute for the opportunity. Yes, the tobacco use affects globally all over the world, and it affects significantly in both developed and developing nations. So, if we see in the developed nations, uh, they cause major serious health issues such as heart diseases, respiratory diseases, various cancers, lung cancer, oral cancer. And because of that, the healthcare system has to pay enormous cost for treating these conditions and managing the related complications. And in turn, there is an economic burden of direct medical expenses and indirect costs. The indirect costs mostly due to lost productivity, due to illness or premature death. But if we consider developing nations, the burden is even more severe due to limited healthcare infrastructure and resources. As per WHO, more than 80% of world's 1.3 billion tobacco users live in low and middle income countries, and it causes them to go into poverty because they spend money more on tobacco rather than essentials like food, education, healthcare, and in turn they get into this vicious cycle of addiction where they continually spending more on tobacco, and that depletes their financial resources. Again, this lack of robust tobacco control policies in the developing countries and lower public health awareness about health risks of tobacco causes the higher prevalence rates of tobacco consumption and significant health problems. For example, in India, nearly 267 million adults use tobacco. That makes India second largest consumer of tobacco globally. And this experiences because of this, India experiences high incidence of tobacco related diseases including oral cancers. About one third of India's It contributes to about one third of India's cancer burden. So it is very important to address this public health crisis by comprehensive strategies. Effective measures to reduce cancer burdens can be employed. And these effective measures can include implementing higher taxes on tobacco products, enforcing bans on tobacco advertising, ensuring smoke-free environments, providing support for tobacco cessation programs, then raising public health awareness about dangers, strengthening healthcare systems, mostly in the developing countries. In conclusion, I would say that sustained and multi-pronged approaches to mitigate the effects of tobacco use are needed, and prioritization of tobacco control policies and public health initiatives needed to reduce the prevalence of tobacco and associated health burdens globally.
Right. So, Dr. Apur, what do you think? As you already mentioned, how tobacco affects public health globally. So, what is the need for celebrating such days with having a long year campaign that WHO has given to all the public health practitioners, professionals, students, and everyone. So, what is the need for such days in today's time, especially?
I think it's very important, and it's very important for several reasons. Because if we see, despite the advancement in technology and access to information, tobacco industry is still remain a significant threat to public health worldwide. And I can say that for both developed and developing countries. Firstly, what is the purpose of World No Tobacco Day? Is to raise awareness about health effects of tobacco use. If we see in the developing nations, they have better access to information and healthcare. Public awareness campaigns by technological means and social media are in place, and they help to reinforce the harmful effects of tobacco. They provide constant reminders about the dangers, and also provide encouragement to the people who are already using tobacco to quit the tobacco habit. So it's very crucial because significant population still smokes or use tobacco products despite the availability of information. But in case of developing nations, the scenario is quite different. The accessibility to digital platforms and health information is limited. There is low public health awareness about risks of tobacco. So under this background, World No Tobacco Day can help by focusing the attention of the tobacco users through educational campaigns and dissemination efforts, which are particularly tailored to the local context. Then, because most of the people they are using traditional media can be incorporated to widen the reach of these campaigns, and uh, it will help in ensuring access to this crucial information about the health risks of tobacco. Such observances like World No Tobacco Day, they play a pivotal role in advocating for public health policies as well. In developed countries, they help to reinforce strict tobacco regulations, support the funding for quit smoking programs. They put pressure on the policymakers to enforce tobacco control laws. Uh, this continuous advocacy, it also acts as a reminder that the battle against tobacco epidemic is ongoing, and complacency can reverse the progress made. Whereas if we see in developing countries, advocacy through World No Tobacco Day is more impactful because they lack comprehensive tobacco control policies due to various challenges such as political, economic, social. Highlighting these issues on global platform can help mobilize international support. It can help in implementation of effective tobacco control measures, and it can also aid in allocation of global health resources. Furthermore, I would say that technological era is a unique opportunity to enhance the impact of World No Tobacco Day. Digital platforms or digital platform campaigns can be used to broaden the reach and engagement. Then there can be social media campaigns, virtual events, online support communities, which can amplify the message. encouraging users to share their stories uh, and participate in discussion and spread awareness within their networks. And moreover, it will facilitate access to suggestion resources as well, including online counseling, mobile apps for quitting smoking, and virtual support groups. But we all know that despite technological advancement, tobacco industry markets its product aggressively. So they leverage the same digital platforms to target younger demographics. In this case here, the days like World No Tobacco Day, they help in countering these efforts and ensuring that the truthful information gets the attention of this younger demographic. In conclusion, I would say the days like World No Tobacco Day are more vital than in today's technology driven world, and they serve as a critical tool for raising awareness, advocating for public health policies, and leveraging technology to engage and educate diverse populations.
Right. So, if you look at the other side, Dr. Apur, what do you think is the influence or the impact of tobacco industry on public and especially young population?
Yeah, so the um, has tobacco industry has a very big influence on the younger demographic. uh, in both the context, like in the developing country and also in the developed countries. They have deceptive and manipulative marketing strategies. They are specifically designed to appeal young people and they put most of the times they portray tobacco use as glamorous and means to achieve social acceptance. So there is more acceptance towards those products by young people. So they are focusing on creating a new generation of habitual users and securing their customer base for years to come. So they have a huge impact on the younger demographic. So to counter this, there is a need to implement and promote strategies which can safeguard young people and enhance their access to accurate information. um, there can be strict regulation on advertising and packaging, uh, creating smoke-free environments in schools and public places, then providing cessation support uh, to this young demographic. It remains a crucial thing. So I think overall, tobacco industry has a big influence. They always come up with new things. Like earlier, there were traditional tobacco products, but then to improve the acceptance among youth, they came up with e-cigarettes and vape. And young people have this perceived notion that these products are safer than the traditional products, but it's a misleading thing. They have their own set of health risks. So yeah, I think tobacco industry like remains a threat to this younger demographics with their enhanced influence um, day by day. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can say there is a huge influence, and that too a negative influence, we can say on the younger population. So, Dr. Apurva, can you please highlight some, commercially available tobacco products that are commonly used by young generation?
Yeah, so there are different products. Uh, Despite the local cultural, economic, and regulatory differences, there are some commonalities observed in types of tobacco products young people frequently use. So first, let's look at the developed nations. In the developed nations, uh, there are cigarettes which are most commonly used among young people. They appeal to them mostly because of the aggressive marketing. Then there is one more reason, that peer pressure and also perception of smoking as a rite of passage into adulthood. So they think that they reach into a new phase because they do smoking. Then there are e-cigarettes and vaping. These have seen a significant surge in their popularity in the recent times among young people. Appeal mostly stems from they are marketed as safer alternative to smoking, and they come in variety of appealing flavors. So that is more acceptable to the young people. Then they also have discreet and modern design that is attractive to tech savvy youth. And however, we all know that there is an increasing evidence that they still possess significant health risk, and they can also act as a gateway to the traditional tobacco use. Then there is hookah or water pipes. These are less common than cigarettes and e-cigarettes, but they have gained popularity in developed nations, particularly in social settings, because there is a perception that they are less harmful due to water filtration process, which is again completely misleading. Then there are smokeless tobacco like chewing tobacco, snuff, which are used less prevalently, but they are still there, and they are also often perceived as less harmful, but they still carry significant health risks, particularly of oral cancers. If we look at the developing nations, there are different tobacco products. Like the most commonly used is hand rolled cigarettes or BDs, which is particularly used in South Asia. And these are very widely used because they are cheaper and more accessible. So the youth which who have like limited economic resources, it's very appealing to them. Then there are some things like smokeless tobacco. These are extremely common. Some examples are khaini, gutka, pan masala. They are also marketed aggressively, and they also have a cultural acceptance, and they come at low cost. So again, there is increased prevalence of the usage of these products among youth. Then there are some traditional products like shisha, which are used in Middle East and African regions. They are often ingrained in cultural practices, therefore perceived as less harmful. Then again, Western styled cigarettes, they are also widely used in developing nations, and they often carry a status symbol appeal. So regulatory measures, we all know that regulatory measures are less stringent in the developing countries. So that makes them accessible at lower prices. So again, they become more appealing to the younger demographic. In conclusion, I think understanding the varied landscape of tobacco product among young people in both developed and developing countries is crucial for public health efforts. And there should be tailored intervention that can be utilized to stop the usage of or reduce the usage among younger demographic. So yeah, I think these are the tobacco products which are commonly used in developed and developing nations.
All right. So as you have already mentioned that majority of the population relies on their perception basically that these products are less harmful or they may not have nicotine and other chemicals, harmful chemicals. So apart from their perception, what are some other common myths that are associated with tobacco consumption and you would like to debunk?
Okay, yeah, it's a good question. As an oral pathologist and a public health professional, I think it's very critical to address and debunk these common myths, especially on the occasion of World No Tobacco Day. Um, so the first myth which I would like to debunk is smoking is a stress. It's one of the most common myths. Smokers feel a temporary relief due to the alleviation of withdrawal symptoms between cigarettes, rather than there is actual reduction in stress. So this nicotine addiction, it creates a cycle of craving and withdrawal, and it's actually contributing to increased overall stress and anxiety levels rather than it relieving the stress. So I think this is a myth that smoking eases stress. Actually, it what it causes is it just alleviates the withdrawal symptoms between the cigarettes rather than actual reduction in stress. So there are far healthier and more effective ways to manage stress, such as exercise, mindfulness, etc. The second myth which I would like to debunk is smokeless tobacco is a safe alternative. Many believe many believe that smokeless tobacco are safer than smoking cigarettes. But it is a very dangerous misconception because smokeless tobacco contains numerous harmful chemicals, including carcinogens, and they significantly increase the risk of oral cancer. Essentially, it is very essential to highlight that no form of tobacco use is safe and all come with serious health risks. The third myth which I would like to debunk is social smoking isn't harmful. Uh, there is this is also a very common myth that social or occasional smoking isn't harmful. But reality is it can also cause damage, and most of the times it causes damage to the cardiovascular system because these chemicals they are incorporated into the bloodstream, and they causes atherosclerotic plaques in the vessels and increases risk of cardiovascular disease. They also have increased risk. They can also increase the risk of cancer. Then the one more myth which I would like to debunk is filtered or light cigarettes are less harmful. Uh, Many smokers believe this thing that they are less harmful, but filtered or light cigarettes they are no safer than regular cigarettes. Users of these products they often inhale more deeply, and because they smoke more cigarettes to achieve the same nicotine effect. They can also again cause the addiction of these tobacco products. So the harmful chemicals and the risk of oral and general health remains the same in case of filtered or light cigarettes as well. The next myth is smoking only affects lungs. It is well known that smoking causes lung cancer and respiratory issues. But again, it's a myth. Its impact is not limited to lungs. It has a widespread impact. It includes significant oral health issues. It increases the risk of oral cancers, gum disease, tooth loss, soft tissue changes, and also this they causes reduced blood flow to the gums that makes them more susceptible to the infections and slower to heal after dental procedures. And last but not the least, there is a myth that quitting smoking is too late to make a difference. It's a particularly harmful myth. In reality, the body begins to repair itself almost immediately after quitting. So within 20 minutes, heart rate, blood pressure drop, and within weeks, lung function improves. And over time, the risk of heart disease, stroke, and cancers drops significantly. So there is nothing, no time is late to quit smoking. You can quit smoking at any time, and that will improve your health significantly. So I think debunking myths is a crucial in fight against tobacco use. So on World No Tobacco Day and beyond, it is our collective responsibility to dispel these myths and promote the healthy lifestyle. Thank
Right,
you.
Dr. Apur. So, as public health professionals, as we have looked to the common myths, we have discussed different types of tobacco products that are being commonly consumed by the people, especially the younger generation. So, as a public health professional and also as a dental surgeon, what will be your recommendations when it comes to fighting against the tobacco industry and their marketing strategies?
Okay, so yeah, it's true that tobacco marketing poses significant threat to public health globally, and combating it requires a multifaceted approach, which can include policy, education, community engagement, and also modifying the regulations or stricter regulations on the tobacco selling laws. uh, so I think individually, I would say there can be some things which we can do, such as education and awareness. We can educate ourselves and also others about the dangers of tobacco. Then we can advocate for stronger tobacco control policies. We can support campaigns, participate in community meetings and social media platforms to amplify voice against tobacco marketing and promotion. We can make healthy choices, choosing not to use tobacco products, and we can set example for others. Then parents and guardians can create tobacco-free environment at home and educate their children about risks. Um, In addition, we can have support systems so that there will be access to cessation programs, and support groups can help current tobacco users to quit tobacco. And health professional can guide and provide resources to quit tobacco use. Moreover, as a community, there is a need of coordinated efforts. So, first will be the policy implementation and enforcement. So, communities can push for comprehensive tobacco control policies, uh, restrict tobacco advertising, promotion, sponsorship, enforcing bans on advertising in public spaces, including near schools, and removing the point of sale displays. Then also, if there will be community-wide educational campaigns that can raise a significant amount of awareness and counteract the messages promoted by tobacco companies. This is another way by which the the marketing by tobacco companies can be combated. And then youth engagement, it's the most important thing. Engaging the youth or young people in anti-tobacco initiatives is very important. Programs like school-based education, youth advocacy groups, extracurricular activities can discourage tobacco use and prevent the initiation of the tobacco use. Then on community level, there can be community support services, establishing local cessation support services such as quit lines, counseling support groups to assist individual who want to quit tobacco in their efforts. And then engagement with local businesses, encouraging the local businesses to adopt tobacco-free workplace policies, avoid selling of tobacco at workplaces, and reduce the accessibility and normalization of tobacco use. So, addressing this issue, there are different scenarios in or different challenges and strategies in developed and developing nations. Uh, in the developed nations, more resources and existing framework is available to implement strong tobacco control measures. So they can lead by example in enforcing bans on tobacco advertising, plain packaging laws, high taxation on tobacco products. Public health campaigns can leverage digital platforms and media to spread awareness. Developed nations have better access to healthcare services that allows for broader and more effective cessation programs. If we look at the developing nations, tobacco companies exploit weaker regulations and target vulnerable populations through aggressive marketing tactics. So, stronger international support and funding are very essential to have strategies against combating this aggressive marketing of the tobacco industry. Particularly, they need to focus on integrating tobacco control into broader public health initiatives due to limited resources. Collaborations with NGOs and international organizations can fill the resource and knowledge gaps. Then community-based approaches like mobilizing local leaders, utilizing community health workers, and incorporating culturally sensitive education efforts can also help in this effort. And emphasizing the economic burden of tobacco use can galvanize government action, as reducing tobacco-related diseases can elevate strain on often under-resourced healthcare systems. So, tailoring strategies to fit specific needs and resources of both developed and developing nations can enhance the effectiveness. And public health experts can play a crucial role in guiding these efforts, ensuring that they are evidence-based and culturally appropriate through education, advocacy, support, and sustained policy enforcement. Um, with all those things, significant progress can be made in reducing the global burden of tobacco-related diseases.
So, as rightly mentioned, that there are always challenges when it comes to implementing any intervention or any strategy. So, there could be unexpected challenges. There are also some expected challenges. So, if we look at the main challenges faced by the target population, which is the younger generation or the young people, what could be, we can say, the key challenges they may face? To resist the tactics and strategies of tobacco industry.
Oh, that's a good question. Um, so, as we all know, that tobacco industry's influence and marketing strategies are multifaceted, and they have varying impacts on young individuals across developed and developing nations. So, one of the primary challenges which are faced are aggressive marketing and the manipulative advertising tactics employed by the tobacco industry. In the developed nations, despite stringent regulations and the tobacco companies market their products subtly through use of social media, influencer endorsements, uh, youth-centric branding, so making tobacco use seem trendy and socially acceptable. Whereas if we look at developing nations, the regulatory frameworks are not as robust, and they allow for more blatant advertising uh, by this tobacco industry, and promotion of these tobacco products near schools and youth centric areas. So tobacco industry exploits vulnerabilities in these regions by having sponsored events. Sometimes they offer free samples, so making easier for young people to access and initiate tobacco use. Another significant challenge is prevalence of flavored tobacco products. As per researches, there are a variety of flavored tobacco products available, and these are designed to mask the harshness of tobacco, and in turn, it makes more palatable to the younger demographic. In developed countries, there is a surge in flavored e-cigarettes and vapes. Uh, so they are often marketed as safer alternative to traditional smoking, and that makes it more acceptable to the young people. In developing nations, the flavored cigarettes and smokeless tobacco are widely available and also poorly regulated, so adding to the appeal of the younger demographic. The third challenge is uh, peer pressure and perceived social benefit of tobacco use. So young people, they are always influenced by peers, They start tobacco as a way to fit in or appear more mature. Portrayal of smoking in movies, television shows, online platforms further normalizes the behavior and glamorizing it and reducing the perception of its risks. So that is again a very dangerous thing, and it makes the younger population more vulnerable to the tobacco use. Another critical factor is economic and social condition prevalent in different regions. So, in developing countries, the tobacco industry targets economically disadvantaged communities. Children and adolescents are more susceptible due to lack of awareness or education related to the harms of or risk of health risks of tobacco use. Access to education and healthcare significantly affects the level of awareness among young people about the health risks associated with tobacco use. In developed nations, anti tobacco education initiatives and cessation programs are more readily available, but there is still a need of more effective interventions targeting young people. Whereas, if we look at developing nations, there are limited resources and other competing public health priorities that hinder the implementation of tobacco control measures, leading to lower awareness and higher rates of tobacco use among the youth. So, as we can see, tobacco industry continues to use sophisticated, irresistible tactics to engage young people globally with varying degree of impact in developed and developing nations. So, it is very crucial to strengthen global tobacco control efforts to enhance education and outreach programs. Also, enforce advertising restrictions and provide support for cessation to mitigate the impacts on the younger generation.
Right. So, Dr. Apurva, if I ask you that you had to plan a campaign for the World No Tobacco Day so that we can protect our youth from the influence of tobacco industry, what would it look like?
Okay, so I think uh, the goal of that campaign would be to raise awareness, educate, and mobilize both individuals and communities to take a stand against the harmful tactics of tobacco industry, address unique challenges faced by both developed and developing nations. And the central theme could be empowering youth and breaking them free from the tobacco's grip, um, and focusing on education, empowerment, and advocacy. So I can outline some key components of the campaign. The first will be comprehensive education program. For developed nations, it involve leveraging the digital platforms which they already have to disseminate informative content tailored to young people. Then interactive web portals, mobile apps, social media campaigns to share data about dangers of tobacco use and also stories from peers who have quit the tobacco usage and tactics employed by tobacco industry. In schools, there can be workshops led by healthcare professionals, including dental experts, which can emphasize the impact of tobacco on oral health and highlight conditions such as gum disease, tooth loss, and oral cancer, so that the young population can be encouraged to quit tobacco. Uh, in developing nations, education program might need different strategies tailored to local context, such as community-based outreach programs. Utilizing the local language and cultural context can be useful in this scenario. Then educators and health workers could visit schools and community centers to provide workshops and distribute printed materials. Also, in developing nations, there is this traditional media like radio programs and public service announcement in local media, that this can be critical in areas where there is a limited internet access. Then another component which I would like to highlight is youth empowerment initiatives. It is very essential to make the campaign resonate with the younger demographic. In developed countries, creating youth advocacy groups help in engaging youth people directly in anti-tobacco activism. Also, it empowers youngsters to become ambassadors and role models within their communities, which again can amplify the campaign's impact. Use of powerful platforms like social media to share their messages and challenge tobacco industry tactics. In developing nations, youth empowerment through formation of local youth groups that collaborate with NGO and health organization can be impactful. Providing training on leadership, public speaking, and advocacy can help these youngsters to become vocal opponents of tobacco use. And engaging with local influencers and community leaders can help spreading this message to a wider audience. Then another component can be of this campaign, strong visual and emotional messaging. In developed nations, we have access to advanced media production techniques, and these like videos, infographics, short films, they can be used to convey the risks of tobacco use in visually compelling ways. Testimonials of young people affected by tobacco related issues can create emotional connection and drive home campaign's message for the younger demographic. And if we see the developing nations leveraging emotional storytelling through accessible mediums such as community theater, radio dramas can be impactful, and these storytelling methods rooted in local culture can resonate deeply and encourage a collective commitment to reduce the tobacco use. In the end, I would like to add a component of policy advocacy to the campaign, which is important in everywhere in both developed and developing nations, and it should advocate for stronger tobacco control policies. Uh, it should include pushing for comprehensive advertising bans, increasing tobacco taxes, implementing plain packaging laws, and the campaign can engage the public lobbying the government officials and creating a groundswell of support for the campaign. So in the end, there it requires a collaborative effort to have a impact which is wide and can reach to the younger demographic. So even sometimes collaborating with educational institution, healthcare providers, and even private sector entities can be helpful in such campaigns. And last but not the least, monitoring and feedback. So ongoing monitoring and evaluation is essential to assess the campaign's impact. In developed nations, data analytics from digital platforms can provide immediate feedback of the campaign's reach and engagement level, whereas in developing nation, regular community feedback through surveys and focus groups can ensure that the campaign's address reaches to the local population in the local context effectively. Um, so, in short, the campaign for World No Tobacco Day should be multifaceted, culturally sensitive, and targeted at empowering young people.
Right. So, as rightly mentioned, that we need a collaborative approach for any campaign that we want to implement. That is very right. So, can you list out or elaborate any recent efforts or achievements at a global level that have been implemented in response to, in response to combat the tobacco industry and their strategies, marketing strategies, etc., by any country maybe that you find inspiring and that can also potentially inspire our audience, the young population, young researchers, etc.
Yes, I find several recent global efforts and achievements in tobacco control particularly inspiring. They are available in both developed and developing countries, um, and they showcase a unified commitment to reducing the harmful effects of tobacco use on public health. Let's look at some of the efforts or achievements from developed countries. One of the significant achievements is the implementation of plain packaging laws for tobacco products. It happened in Australia in 2012, and it became the first country to introduce such measures. And then many country followed the same way, and plain packaging removes all branding, color, and promotional information from cigarette packs, making them less attractive, especially to young people. So after Australia, countries like United Kingdom, France, and Canada, they also successfully implemented plain packaging laws, demonstrating a substantial reduction in smoking rates among youth and adults. This effort is a testament to how policy interventions supported by strong public health advocacy can lead to a meaningful change. The second such campaign happened in the States, where FDA has been instrumental in regulating tobacco products, uh, and has recently taken significant steps to control e-cigarette epidemic among teens. They put ban on flavored e-cigarettes, and it's a crucial move to curb the rising trend of nicotine addiction. These regulations are crucial in addressing the dynamic landscape of tobacco use and ensuring that newer forms of tobacco products do not undo the progress that was made in controlling traditional tobacco use. Turning to developing countries, the achievements are equally commendable. Um, a notable success story comes from Thailand, where they implemented some of the most comprehensive tobacco control measures in that region. Thailand has enacted stringent laws on tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsorship, and has increased the size of health warnings on cigarette packs to cover 85% of packaging. These efforts contributed to a gradual decline in smoking rates, reflecting how strong political will and public health advocacy can overcome the influence of tobacco industry. I would also like to add another inspiring story from Kenya, where community-based interventions have played a crucial role in tobacco control. So the grassroots organizations and health activists work tirelessly to raise awareness, particularly amongst youth and women. Efforts supported by government policies like high tobacco taxes and implementation of smoke-free public places also was helpful, and interventions effected in reducing the prevalence of smoking and shifting public perception about tobacco. It led to showcasing the impact of community-led initiatives. So there was one more inspiring achievement, that rise of digital health interventions in tobacco control. Countries like India and Indonesia are leveraging mobile technology to support smoking cessation, It's called M Cessation program in India. It uses mobile messaging to send tips, motivational content, and support to smokers, helping them quit. And digital approach makes smoking cessation resources more accessible, especially in remote and underserved areas, and represents a novel approach to public health challenges. Overall, the global efforts and achievements in tobacco control are vast and varied, and they highlights the collective commitment to reducing tobacco burden, from rigorous policy implementation in developed countries to innovative community-based interventions in developing nations. Progress is truly inspiring, and these efforts underscore the importance of continued global cooperation, robust public health policies, and community engagement in achieving tobacco-free world.
Right. So I think, Dr. Apurva, we can say that nations across the world are trying to come up with effective strategies, and I think they are, working on nudging behavior. I guess not directly, telling people to stop consuming tobacco. Rather, they are going, approaching the target population indirectly, like, increasing the taxes on the products or making them less attractive, etc. So this is more like, I think, more like a nudge that we can use for our target population, which is actually quite effective. So my last question would be, the role of technology, the role of digital advancements, including social media. How can we use such platforms to, raise awareness against the tobacco industries, and also to raise awareness about the dangers of tobacco consumption?
Hmm. Yeah, addressing the dangers of tobacco use is it's of utmost importance. But utilizing technology and social media effectively can play a crucial role in spreading awareness about these dangers. Technology and social media provide um, unparalleled platforms for information dissemination. Their reach can be leveraged to educate diverse populations about the harmful effects. If we look at developed nations, social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube can be employed to create engaging and informative campaigns. For example, interactive content, sharing infographics and videos that highlight health risks. Uh, Content should be visually appealing to capture the attention of tech-savvy audience. Then there can be influencer partnerships, collaborating with influencers and celebrities to endorse anti-tobacco messages. It can again amplify the reach and impact of the campaign. Then apps and websites, development of mobile apps and websites. Websites can provide resources, support groups, and suggestion tools. Um, then virtual webinars, hosting virtual webinars and seminars by health professionals to discuss dangers of tobacco, and it can also promote preventive measures. If we see developing nations, technology adoption is increasing but can vary significantly. So, in the end, tailored approaches are necessary. So there can be SMS campaigns utilizing SMS technology to send educational messages directly to mobile phones. They can be effective in areas with limited internet access. WhatsApp group initiatives, creating community WhatsApp groups to share information and support for tobacco cessation efforts. Radio and television, they remain highly effective in developing countries, and they also ensure wider reach if included in the campaigns. Then community engagement, leveraging social media for organizing community events and workshops to educate people um, about the harmful effects of tobacco. Then utilizing local languages, to maximize the understanding and impact. In conclusion, I think it is very important to use the current advancement in technology and social media to spread awareness about the dangers of tobacco. And it's very essential that we continuously innovate and collaborate to maximize the impact of public health efforts. So, technology can be very helpful and crucial in the future progress of the public health efforts against the tobacco epidemic, and also helping the younger demographic.
That's right. So, Dr. Apurva, what will be your final message to our audience?
So, yeah, first of all, I would again like to thank you for the opportunity to speak on the occasion of World No Tobacco Day. On this occasion, I would like to firstly tell all my users and the younger demographic that it's essential to understand that tobacco use is one of the leading causes of preventable diseases and deaths worldwide. And uh, smoking and other use of other tobacco products has dire consequences. Also, they are linked to plethora of general as well as oral health issues, which are often underrated. So, young people are at a crucial stage of life where habits are formed and that can impact their health for decades. So they have to be very careful with their choices. Perhaps the most alarming is increased risk of lung cancer and oral cancers, which can be life-threatening and require intensive treatment. Oral cancer treatment can lead to disfigurement of face, and there can be aesthetic impacts, which can also reduce the confidence of the young people, because it affects their appearance. It might affect their appearance. So, my message to youth population is to recognize the power you have over your health choices. Educate yourselves about the realities of tobacco use. Use the resources available to you, including preventive information and cessation programs. Surround yourself with supportive peers who respect and encourage healthy lifestyles. Uh, so today on No Tobacco World No Tobacco Day, take a stand for your future. Say no to tobacco, not just for your health, but for your well-being, your confidence, and your future opportunities. And remember, the choices you make today can set the course for a healthier, happier, and more vibrant life ahead. So your health is invaluable, and it's never too early to protect it. Thank you.
That's true. As rightly mentioned, it is very important to take step for yourself, take a stand for yourself to bring any change in this world. This is very true. So, thank you, Dr. Apur, for this great conversation. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you so much. I wish you a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.